The newspaper front pages is what we are going to next here on Breakfast Central on a Wednesday morning, and we urge you to join us by calling the phone number on the screen. Let's get your reaction to some of the very, very interesting stories that we're seeing from the judiciary and the likes. But let's go straight and introduce our guest who joins us. We do have public affairs analyst, and he's here to dissect some of these stories making the rounds on the front pages. Mr. Theophilus Akatugba joins us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning to you. All right. Let's go down to our very first newspaper. We'll be looking at Nigerian Tribune. That's our first paper. Don't forget, get your fingers itchy and make sure you call. We'd like to hear your reactions to some of the very interesting story. It starts off with the news at the top. Tinubu appoints Ogunjimi, acting accountant general of the Federation. Court postpones Farotimi's bail application till December 20. Reps probe CBN over scarcity of Naira notes. And they should also probe them, not just for scarcity, but the fact that you cannot get monies from the ATM, but you could get it from the POS operators. Okay. The big one on the front page there, Reps Southern Caucus backs tax reform bills. And then we'll look at so many. It says they say they're ready for negotiation with Northern lawmakers. Take note, Reps Southern Caucus backs tax reform bills. Says ready for negotiation with Northern lawmakers. What tax reform bills will do for Nigerians? Fiscal Responsibility Commission. Our stance aligns with Tinubu's vision. RMAFC. I thought they said they were in opposition to the tax reform bills as a few days ago because they said they spotted some things wrong with it. Anyway, Theophilus is here. I'll leave that to you when we get there. Let's move on to another story quickly. Nigeria recorded 467,000 tuberculosis cases in 2023. That calls for an alarm and alert. Also, alleged 110 billion naira fraud. Court remands Yahaya Bello in Kuje prison adjourns case till January 29. Workers shut down WAEC offices nationwide over salary review, sacked staff. That starts today, so there's an ongoing strike. Sanwo-Olu inaugurates network of roads in Ikoyi. And then on the front page there you have another one. It says, Tinubu inaugurates immigration innovative complex, commends Tunji Ojo. And you can see him standing there, Tunji Ojo to his right. You also have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the middle. Let's leave the Nigerian Tribune before we get our reactions. Let's go to This Nigeria and see another story very quickly. Invest in ICT, mechanized agriculture to tackle unemployment. Economists urge federal government. Alleged 110 billion naira fraud. You must remain in Kuje prison. Court tells ex-governor Yahaya Bello, a.k.a. the White Lion. Adjourns till January 29, 2025, Farotimi 2 returns to Ekiti Correctional Center in case with Afe Babalola. Senate okays bill to ban raw materials exportation. FCT Minister also, we'll see another one. It says the Cry City Center satellite towns disconnected, kicks off 15-kilometer tie road project. Police recover counterfeited dollars, others worth over 100 billion naira in Kano. We've taken these two papers. Let's start off first and get our reaction from our guest, Akatugba, who joins us right before we look forward to hear from you when you dial the phone number on the screen. Let's start off with a very big one. It's got to do with the story concerning the 110 alleged, fraud by the former governor, talking about Yahaya Bello, who's reprimanded in prison all the way up until January 29. What's your take on the judiciary's back and forth, Yahaya Bello, Dele Farotimi, and so on?
Well, the first case is a case that borders on financial crime, and it affects the well-being of our country, affects the well-being of our citizens. And he has been very, very evasive of arrest and evasive of being prosecuted appropriately. And now that he has surrendered himself, the case has begun, and the court, in his wisdom, found that he should be kept in prison. As you know, Nigerians should not always celebrate detention of persons when they have not been convicted. I think this country just get, excited. Oh, he's being detained. What if he's detained till 29th and is left off the hook with a pat on the back, ultimately? And this is just done to satisfy the public. You see, Nigerians need to be smarter than the way they treat, the citizenry have become so used to a pattern of reaction that today, till 29, people are jubilating. There's no big story about that. His remand in prison is not what excites me. Is that the case should travel his full hog quickly, and then he is either convicted or if he's proven to be, to be innocent, then he's left off the hook. I don't celebrate detentions of persons just because I want to be satisfied.
All right. And then now let's discuss that vis-a-vis Dele
Farotimi's case is not a national matter. I think Nigerians have made it a national issue. It's a case between him and his fellow citizen. And because he's someone who is prominent and is an activist, people think that jumping behind him is something trendy and will gain you more friends. No, that's a very private matter, and it should not be given a national color. And it's not a Nigerian matter.
Well, it's not really given a national column in this
That's the way it's looking like. I see there's an undertone. Some people are behind him because of what he says. No. He went after a particular individual, and the individual went to court, and the judiciary, in Nigerian judiciary, is a game of wit and battles. And so they are fighting it out there, and it's not something we should make a national conversation. We should actually discourage.
Do you know why it has become a national conversation?
If there is a defamation, let the court determine that.
Right.
If he has defamed someone, his activism, we applaud him, but we don't applaud anyone
so
for
I think that
another.
Majority, the sense that we get is that majority of Nigerians agree that if there has been a defamation, the court should decide. Everybody come with your case to court, and he who alleges must prove. However, what Nigerians decry is the manner in which this has been carried out, the manner in which the arrest was carried out. Arrested here in, his chamber in Lagos. We had our correspondent at the place, at the law firm. The cleaner there was being beaten. She was slapped. So I think it's the manner in which the arrest was effected. And, the argument has become that some would say that Chief Afeba Balola, SAN, is a lawyer and should know better, that there are ways in which this should be handled, go straight to court. However, there are those who would say he has made his complaints, the police have carried out his arrest.
The case has been in court and he has refused to attend the court. So the attitude of the police towards him could be criticized, but that is also,
do you know for sure that the case has been in court?
Yes, he mentioned it on TV that they've taken this to one.
No. What I saw, I mean, I'm starting to be corrected, but what I saw was that he had said that he had gotten information that this is what they are planning to do to
No, that is the second thing. He said there's a case in court, fraudulently taken to court, and he has refused to go. Now he hear they're about to get him. That's what he was saying. Okay. But to have refused to go to a court properly constituted, and as a lawyer, and a bench warrant issued against you, you can see. So you see what I'm trying to say.
So are we saying that we can condone the manner in which he was actually...
We as a nation must know, but he is a lawyer as well. He should be able to test that if what they did was outside of the law.
All right, hold that thought.
So we don't jump in. You see, when we jump in to mob our security officials, because you think, even in the US, when something is deep, when some arrests might not be according to popular expectation, but it's an arrest. The fact is, the police, if they step out of bound, we can talk about that.
All right,
but we cannot have a national outcry because other Nigerians are arrested more brutally.
Let's take a call, and we'll come back to have a conversation. We have a call coming in. Good morning, Lenny. Please go ahead.
I think we lost that call. Lennon, are you there? Okay, we lost that call. Anyway, you were making a point that our argument, especially the argument from a lot of Nigerians, simply is the way he was picked up. Is that how it should be?
Who knows how it should be? Who has even told us now this is how it should be? You see, everybody.
It's there. You were invited.
What I'm saying, no, this is a case. It's different. We don't know the true background of this case. You see, Nigeria, there is a lot of talking in the media about this matter. The other day, I'll tell you something. He is an activist. He has a loud voice in the media, and the media and all of his friends are behind him. Does not make it a national issue. This man has a case with a private citizen who is exercising his own right, and in the process, some wrongs might be committed, then we can deal with those wrongs. But we don't make it something that we engage a nation as busy as Nigeria. Nigeria is too big for such personal squabbles to become center stage.
But I'm sorry, but I don't agree with the fact that it's a private matter. But then again, it's how it was brought to the public. I'll bring this case close to you. I mean, you have young men or boys who are equally arrested. We've seen police brutality. We know what ended up, what brought about the NSAS issue and so on. Whether we like it or not, the police will continue to be on our faces in terms of conversation. And I don't know if you've seen those videos, if you've seen the CCTV, how they got into
No, I am not holding brief
so
for the police. I'm saying, if a citizen is arrested for any reason, and you think that your arrest was not properly done, you have avenues in a democracy to address the matter. It is not public mobbing and outcry that changes the citizen. It is when an action takes place and people are penalized. What is happening now? Afe Babalola did not go on the street to make noise all these years. He went quietly to the courts, and we're now seeing the outcome of his moves. Citizens should explore the systems in this country so we can be a civilized nation.
And in response to what you had said earlier, I mean, when you had said that it's a private matter and you don't think it should be given public...
National
but you know why
Nigeria is involved in
You know why it will be given that? It's the same thing with when any public official or a public person, you know, has a matter that looks like there's some level of abuse involved. In, you know, another case is Alex Ikweche, the House of Reps member who slapped the taxi driver, and that also became like a global conversation.
No, because that was a big issue. Because our lawmaker slapped a citizen, and he made several boasts that was a national issue.
Let's take Jeffrey.
Anyway.
Jeffrey joins us now. Jeffrey, good morning. Welcome to the papers. Go ahead. Jeffrey, can you hear us? Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Talking about this case. Talking about this case of Dele Farotimi. Now, when it comes to because what I saw there was adoption. Because the police in Lagos State, they don't even know that police came all the way from Ekiti to take him. And in the case, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
All right. I think we seem to have a little glitch there with Jeff. But I got Jeffrey's point. Jeffrey said it was an adoption, and even the Lagos CP said they didn't know anything about it, and that's what Jeffrey's saying. So these are the concerns for us as journalists. On the other hand, it is a big concern because why I would say, in as much as a private matter is also a public matter, is because you've also had issues where even journalists have been picked up.
See, we are not, I think this is where, when Nigeria is having a conversation, my international friends don't get involved because everyone is speaking from different points of views that make it difficult to have a conclusion. If we agree that it's a private matter, if we agree that the behavior of the police can be tested, then why are we really we are over-conversating over something that is so minimal. The point is, it's not that big. If there is an error in the manner, the CP of Lagos, the police protocols will tell us that anyone to be picked up in his jurisdiction will be informed. If he says publicly that he was not also informed, it means there is something that needs to be investigated.
Well, we hope and we know that sometimes these investigations do not yield.
That is the spirit that doesn't help our country. We know, we hope. Everyone knows something very bad about Nigeria, and no one seems to know a good thing. If we live like that, this is why the sickness of the country continue to travel, including traveling into Britain, where our citizens denounce our country. Because it's a swell of
Mr.
negative opinion.
Would you blame the citizen for denying the country?
Yes, she is completely a disaster. She needed to be, we have to reject her because she has disgraced herself. You see, the situation of your country, you can criticize those who are supposed to do what to do, but you trash your country, you've trashed yourself. She made a huge mistake. And the error of her life, she will ever regret that.
And I think the vice president
was a
had told
mistake.
her to take away that Kemi from her name. Maybe
She, it's a choice she needs to make, because her behavior, there are, Rishi Sunak has been there, we have other people who have ruled other.
And nobody condemned their country.
India is not particularly one of the greatest countries in the world. But Indians don't come here and tell you they have a terrible country. I have a friend, Mr. Ramki used to tell me, anytime I complain about people, he just laughs, says the same thing everywhere. He gives me a clinical story. He was a chief executive officer in Ghana, we were together. He always tell me, he always tell me there is no basis to over-criticize yourself, that civil service in many countries are similar. And the point is, we sometimes overbeat ourselves. We just saw Joe Biden pardon his own son. If that happens in Nigeria, it will be a national discussion for 4 months. The fact is, these things are similar in many places.
But it's
that we overhold ourselves to the jugular that the country is seemingly not to be making progress.
Mr. Akatugba, I think we should step on the brakes a little and breathe. And I'll tell you why I say we should step on the brakes and breathe. We're reviewing the papers, though, but also we're bringing out a lot of conversations around this. I think, I stand to be corrected. This is my opinion. I think that these conversations are necessary and are rife because we seem not to do things right, even when we should. I'm going to ask you a question. Now we're talking about power. Coming with power, we have issues. Now we're talking about somebody who allegedly has taken over 110, not in millions,
billions,
but in billions.
Right.
And who proved it? It was actually, anyway, let's take
this call from Ghana. Good morning, Benjamin. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Ali.
Good morning.
I'm so disgusted with what your president say. The problem we have in Nigeria that everybody choose to decide when it comes to the injustice that's going on in Nigeria. Can you simply tell me the jurisdiction the state has over Dele Farotimi? In Nigeria, I've not seen where jurisdiction works. Something happens in Lagos State. Police came from Ekiti State. Who gave them the permission? Is it Attorney General of Ekiti State? Did he inform the Attorney General of Lagos State? Did he inform the Commissioner of Lagos State? You can't just speak in Nigeria all the way from Ekiti. That's what happens in Nigeria. So you see here that they went to a new state and picked up Mr. Labaja and took him to Abuja. I think Abuja is the headquarters. I think there's no law in any state. We should stop playing us straight in Nigeria. And there is no Nigerian more Nigerian than any Nigerian. After the Balola, Attorney General of Police, Mr. General of Police, everybody is a Nigerian, has an equal right to be a Nigerian. And the law in Nigeria should, until the law in Nigeria works across board, Nigeria will get better. We will keep talking. We have left Nigeria to be talkative. We will come every day on money, in your program. We talk, nothing happens. That's what they are enjoying. Once the law in Nigeria doesn't work, until the law in Nigeria works for the common man and the rich men, then Nigeria will become better. But for now, they are just playing with us. Because all the things, look at even their lawyers, what they are saying. Only a lawyer comes on TV and addresses the nation that the ranting on the social media won't stop the persecution. It doesn't make sense, my brother. It doesn't make sense. Let us be realistic. Every Nigerian wants to travel abroad. Get abroad, we are going.
All right.
Things like us, take that country.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Work in that country. So until Nigerians begin to appreciate their law, nothing is going to happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benjamin, for calling.
Thank you.
I don't know if you heard what...
Yes, I heard Benjamin. Benjamin is saying that he's disgusted because I don't share his opinion, and unfortunately, that's also part of the problem of Nigeria. You must understand that your opinion is not total, that is the total truth. Shades of opinion, diversity of opinion will make the discussion better. He has a point, but he's saying we should keep our laws. But we don't know if any law has been broken. The optics might be bad, but we don't know the administrative processes. Whatever is being said, Nigeria is a place where half-truths travel very far, muddled truths, colored truths, paid news. I need to know that I am someone who lives in the country with a lot of peace of mind.
So the
Because
EFCC.
I know that every morning something travels that doesn't need to travel. What I want Nigerians to know, we need to live in peace to make progress, and we need to promote our dialogues soundly, not with suspicious or wrong motives. I'm speaking, but I'm saying a lot of things because I want to see this as a private matter, and I want those involved to deal with the wrongs that could be committed in the process. There could be wrongs, but there are processes.
All right, we'll come back to have more conversations. Let's have Lenin. Good morning, Lenin. Thanks for calling back. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Olive.
Yes.
I want to comment on this issue of abduction. Clearly, Nigerians, we don't like telling ourselves the truth. The big man is oppressing the poor man, and we just see it as normal. Here, let's tell ourselves the truth. Even the lawyers that is defending the stand in AKT, he knows that clearly was abduction. But I want to say something. Whoever is defending that thing, there's no problem. They should know that none of us living in Nigeria today are alive above 30, above 20, who live more than 2099. So whatever we are doing, we are just doing between now and 2099. We are all gone. They want somebody remember us from year 2030, year 3000. It matters a lot. So let's continue and do whatever we are doing. It's so fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Okay. I mean, you've heard what he said.
Yes.
Obviously, still a reaction to what you've said about the case between Afe Babalola, SAN, and Farotimi. But I want us to go again to the Daily Times, the front page of the Daily Times, and he had started off asking you where VP Shettima criticizes UK's bad enough, highlights Nigeria's global role. Now, part of the conversation, like he mentioned earlier, was that he said she's even free to remove Kemi from her name, but I'm trying to not misquote him. He says that, but that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. That's what the VP said. And before you respond, to that, I want to make reference to something that the former Chancellor of West Germany said in June 1979, I believe, where he had said that Germany is not a world power and does not seek to be a world power. That same year, former President Olusegun Obasanjo in his thank you tour in Ogun State had talked about how Nigeria is going to be one of the top 10 leading nations by the end of the century. If we look now in 2024 at the both countries, it feels like there's been a switch in terms of how the nations have fared and are being interpreted. Yeah. And, literary experts and even economists at the time, I think it's sometime in 1983, Chinua Achebe had then said that our problem in Nigeria is a false image. We have a false sense of self, that we basically have a false image of what our reality is. And I want to ask you, do you agree with the Vice President's remarks about, Nigeria being the greatest black nation on earth currently with all that is going on?
Now, we are not looking good and we are not doing well, but when you place us side by side, black nations, so we are the greatest.
What makes
there
us
is no
the greatest
other black
nation?
nation on earth that compares with Nigeria.
Why?
Because this, in terms of population, and he mentioned that. So he didn't mention economy. So he said very soon we will surpass the US. So for that, we are the greatest because we have, in every place where blacks are gathered, you will have more Nigerians there. Nigerians make the greatest impact in all nations among African and black nations on earth. Nigeria is the aspiration of all black countries. We rule in many spheres, entertainment, even in sport. Nigeria is a country to look forward to. There is something good about Nigeria. We are looking for a better Nigeria. That is all we are seeking for. But we are not doing so at the expense of our gains. And we should not do so at the expense of whatever successes we are chalking. We are not terrible that we are not making some great moves. We are moving forward, but there is deep-seated problem. There is structural problem. There is ethnicity problem. There are foundational problems. And we keep grappling with all of these problems. And day by day, we must continue to shine. But if any one of us find himself into leadership on our behalf, and he takes the podium to denigrate all of us, then we have lost our progress. That's the point. You have become one of the shining lights. It is the reason you took that stage is because you must drag all of us out of our despondency. Obasanjo's statement, in contrast with the German person, is this: Germany sought to lead the world, and they know that if they say that again, because they have the power to do so, they will not be accepted in the global stage. So speaking modestly gives them a seat in a place where they see them as a global threat, who once wanted to rule the world through Hitler when they said they want to rule the world. Obasanjo was only speaking motivationally for his own citizens to rise out of the ashes. But unfortunately, motivational speeches alone do not do it, or will not solve the problem. It is when we put our shoulders to the wheel, each one making a conscious decision to make right statement, right decision, because in Nigeria today, you don't need to go too far to know that Nigeria is not a country to invest in. Only the opinion of the citizens is enough to discourage any investor.
I don't agree that it's only the opinion of the citizens.
The citizens, I didn't say only.
No, yeah.
I said, once you gather yourself around the social media handles of Nigeria,
okay,
a Nigerian, a foreigner can easily make a decision. I organize international events, and when I invite people, they tell me quickly that my country is dangerous, and they show me social media conversations.
32 out of 37 states haven't got it
before.
Yeah. Let's hear from Tundu calling from
I've been
Abuja.
advised not to come.
Good morning, Tundu. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead. TD.
Okay, Trudy, go ahead.
Guys, hi. I just want to say something on the Dele Farotimi's case. And it's okay for all of us to have, our views and opinions, different, sides to the issue. But I think it's wrong for someone to say that it isn't a national issue. It's about the life of a Nigerian. The life of every Nigerian matters. So it is wrong for you to say, oh, Nigerians got other things to, worry about. It is the life of a Nigerian we're talking about, and it was made public. What we're talking about here is the rule of law, the manner in which he was arrested. We saw him in court. Should he have been in court? All of the things, surrounding the case. What is happening? It is the life of a Nigerian that we're talking about. It's about the rule of law. If something has got wrong in his case, every Nigerian has got every reason to ask. We're not treating the legality of the case here. What we're saying here is what was done in terms of how he was arrested, moved from one state to the other, denied bail, seen in court. Is that how a Nigerian should be treated? For crying out loud, the international community is watching. It is the life of a Nigerian that we're talking about. We can have different opinions as much as we want. It is wrong for you to say that it is not important. The life of every Nigerian matters. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Trudy. Thank you very much.
Trudy, thank you for that. But the life of Yahaya Bello matters, but we've not also discussed the process he was chased and how he was also denied bail. See, it's also a bailable offense.
Talk about
the
Yahaya
point
Bello.
I want to raise is that Nigerians should not have double standards.
No, but let's
Just
talk
as
about...
much as denial of bail, Yahaya Bello is a Nigerian. He stole money, we're angry.
But Yahaya Bello, can I please mention something?
Yes.
Yahaya Bello's case, you mentioned that Yahaya Bello's case is one against the people of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Because he was
but
alleged...
he talks of human rights, that's what I'm saying. He just say
Now, in terms of
Nigerian
human rights,
yes.
you should know the reason why they denied him bail, because Yahaya Bello had been summoned to court. He missed his court appointment at least 6 times.
I understand. But
so that
you know there have been processes to get him arrested that could also be Gestapo wrong. We've seen that. They went to block his house. We've seen Gestapo moves by the police to arrest people. They were able to get into his house. They broke through. Yahaya Bello was solidified and was ferried away. So there's been all these moves. What I want to say, I think people are missing the point. Let's not get too emotional about this matter. If a wrong has been committed in the process of his arrest, that can be addressed. But doesn't mean that it's not a private matter between two Nigerian citizens.
But I think I get the sense of where they're coming from.
I know, I understand that.
When we say that, it's a private matter and should not be giving headlines, it reminds me of the quote, I may misquote it, but that says, when they came for the, I'm going to rephrase, the Jews, nobody spoke for them. They came for this, no one spoke for them. And today, they came for us and nobody spoke for us.
It's a good statement to motivate.
And Dele Farotimi, in that sense, represents a fraction of a number of Nigerians who are every day wrongfully arrested. For...
I know we have issues we're fighting. A lady slapped Nigerian FRC.
We saw that video.
Is that a national conversation? Slapping a fellow man with your hands a lady to a man, is that not a human right abuse?
And she should be made.
I think that was,
she should be
made to face
good, but that's not. It's not occupy the headlines enough.
But you know why?
So it should be, because that is even more serious.
But then I mentioned at the start.
But you know why? You know why? As soon as that happened, if you check the entire video and the conversations around that, it was just obvious that she was picked up immediately. Everybody said, pick her up.
No, what I'm saying is,
and let her face the law immediately.
It is about whether another person, if it occupied national conversation, it will educate more people about not slapping or attacking our public officials. If he's quickly arrested and then silenced, that is the biggest issue in our country. We saw someone who set law enforcement officers ablaze at Sele bus stop. Yes, when he was about to be arrested. We've seen people who go naked. We've not discussed the challenges our law enforcement officer even face in the hands of
you can't take away the fact that it's not just, and every Nigerian's right is important, including the right of the Nigerian who was assaulted by, I agree, that's what I'm saying, including the law enforcement agents who was assaulted by that woman. However, you can't take away the right or the fact that Dele Farotimi and Chief Afe Babalola SAN are two prominent lawyers. Two people who
are fighting themselves.
Who have not just fighting them. It's not just a fight against
themselves. has written a book he's benefiting from already, becoming a bestseller.
It's not his book. He's everything that has been.
Whose book is that?
It's not the royalties aren't coming to him. He has already donated all the royalties.
But he's become a bestseller of an author.
But what I'm saying,
and the content we are searching for is the defaming content that for which is being sued.
Mr. Akatugba, can you allow me drop this, please?
Benefit already.
What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, the amount of clout, using that word loosely, the amount of clout that story has gotten, yes, it's because there's a human rights conversation here, but also because of the personalities involved.
No, I won't take it from you.
There's Dele Farotimi, who is a very well-known activist and lawyer. And there's also Chief Afe Babalola SAN, who is a very well-known senior advocate and someone who is a legal pillar in Nigeria's legal space. So also because the judiciary has been in the spotlight for the longest time.
I think that's just
in the past, especially from the last election.
I like your presentation also, driving also going to that issue of the human rights matter. It means that these two, because of their celebrity status, their rights and their human right is of a higher pedestal compared to that officer that was slapped by fellow Nigerians. Oh, no, I'm saying this. You know why? Because the word celebrity does not appear when we talk about human rights. It's equal to everyone. That's why I'm saying that what would be the most important issue in Nigeria today is about your law enforcement officer that faces danger daily in trying to protect and even enforce the law. The very citizens that they are working for are attacking them so savagely.
Two truths can coexist.
And then it's under the captain that
nobody's sweeping it under the top. Nobody's sweeping it under the top.
Two people fighting themselves.
Mr. Akatugba, have you had an encounter with some of the traffic wardens?
I have, and it's very beautiful. No, it's not beautiful.
Fine.
But that does not mean.
And I agree with you that it doesn't mean.
And hold on, does it also mean that they have to treat you negatively? Don't you have
No, I have never said so. I have seen one that broke the side mirror of a driver was in his car.
So two wrongs
right
don't
on
make
the
a
way
right.
from Delta. I have never promoted the right of their behavior.
And I know, and I agree with you. You haven't done that. What I'm saying in essence is that the two truths can coexist, and the truth is not every story will get as much clout as it should get. Do you know that just yesterday at 8:30 p.m., News Central dropped a documentary about a woman who was, drugged, raped, got pregnant, the man denied the pregnancy, and then she lost the baby. Did you know about it?
No, I didn't.
Don't know about exactly. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's how the world works. Some stories will get more traction than others,
but
and that is not to say that is not to say that the other story that did not get traction is not as important as the one that got traction.
Today, it's occupying too much of the space because there are other more important issues that will lead to national development even better. Because if you keep the law enforcement officer safe, he's not going to be aggressive in return to the citizens.
Well, we can agree to disagree, and I guess
that's why we are here.
I think that's what we've done. But then again, we'll allow our viewers to be the ultimate decision makers in this case. However, I want to say thank you to all our callers and those who have been calling and still calling. We're sorry we're out of time with the front pages.